Good to be here.
Good morning, Will.
We are in Wilson, Wyoming, on your deck, and we're doing the first live coffee with Roscoe. All
Yes.
the other ones have been teleconferencing.
Yeah, it's great to have you here and the whole family, and you might hear a baby crying in the background.
Yeah.
That's a new grandson we have.
Yep. So we're going to start with some Wyoming news. And I found this news website for Wyoming that's actually really great. It's Reddit, if you haven't tried it before. And I found the Wyoming sub-channel, and it has really great news and conversation that sort of aggregates all of the other news sources. And so, here we have talking about, Grand Targhee Bike Park is opening. We have Governor Gordon got in a argument with the mayor of Cheyenne about potholes and preparing the city for a foreign state visit. We have Rocky Mountain Power to break ground on a $3.1 billion wind project. Man cited for walking on Yellowstone Hot Spring. Wyoming game managers catch antlers poachers in Jackson Hole. And there's just all these great articles that sort of pull from different local newspapers and put it in one place. I really like it.
No, it's handy. News for me, I guess, this week would be we were trying to get the governor to come through with Senator Dockstader and meet at the Hoback Ranches, they had the largest fire in Wyoming this year, and they were just going to talk about possible help for some of the residents there, and just review the fire. But Governor Gordon had too much going on, I think, and so we're going to pursue that topic.
Yeah, great. News from Oakland, where I'm from. They just approved the use of magic mushrooms.
What for?
For recreation. They're just not going to use local city police resources to catch and prosecute people that use magic mushrooms. So it's still federally illegal, but it's a city saying we're not going to spend our resources to try to get these guys doing magic mushrooms because they're pretty harmless.
Well, with the fire in Bondurant, there's a huge. The morels come back just gloriously, and so there's the Forest Service is actually setting up places where for commercial mushroom finders or whatever. What would you call it? Collectors. So I've had some friends that have been looking to go down there, but they haven't. So you can get mushrooms or morels around here, right next to the Snake River, but you can find one or two.
Right.
It helps your omelet, though.
Great. Hey, so in this episode, I wanted to chat about the bureaucracy and administration of campaigns and the government. And so we went through all the papers you brought back from the legislative session, and we're left with one box, but we threw out sort of 3 other boxes of paper that were just notes and laws and bills and paper that you received at the legislative session. And so just to go through some of the gems that I found in there, where did those papers go? So we got, a newspaper, Roscoe to remain independent in Wyoming House seat number 22 from November. And we got from October, Joel Bousman debating 2 other county commissioner seats. And I drove a tractor for him for a couple of summers.
Joel is a neighbor down at the ranch in Sublette County, and he's been in there for a long time and was president of the County Commissioner Commission or County Commissioner Association for quite a while.
And we had those thank you letters somewhere that here they are. Yeah, we found some unsent thank you letters for
huge donations
for the support for the campaign. So Paul Davison, thank you. Mill Reeser, thank you. Sorry you never got the thank you letter, but the thought was made.
Did I put stamps on them? No.
No stamps. Maybe we'll get those out. But yeah, it seems with this position, it doesn't pay hardly anything, so you can't have the support of someone like an administrative assistant to help you with all these things. So
I have no complaints about the pay, honestly, but I did hear that Montana has only meets every 2 years, which I think sounds rather appealing.
Yeah, you pass fewer laws, less government bureaucracy, and to dive into that, we have the 2019 legislative summary that's prepared by the Legislative Service Office, and that is an awesome organization. They do so much work.
Yeah, they are. We'd be hopeless without them. Honestly.
Yeah,
I would be.
So they've summarized all of the bills from the legalese text that ends up in our statutes into sort of common English of, here's a bill supported by the Joint Minerals and Business and Economic Development Interim Committee.
What's the name of that?
This is the Limited Mining Operations Amendments. Current law exempts limited mining operations involving gravel, sand, limestone. This act amends procedures related to limited mining operations, and it goes on and on.
That was a good cleanup bill.
Yeah. Okay, so there are cleanup bills. That's what I was going to sort of dig into is it seems like most of these laws are additions to the current statutes. And here we have part of the Wyoming statutes here. We have their book 9 through 12. And I think there are a total of 12 books. So the law statutes are, this tall of text. And it's almost impossible for someone who also runs a business to start to understand this completely.
I read these every night and go to sleep quite rapidly.
And then every session we have additional laws that are adding on to this. So every legislative session you're probably not adding a whole book, but this thing is growing and growing, and then you can look at the federal government where the statutes are just totally
right.
Massive.
There are some laws that have a sunset that are deleted from this, but it seems like, especially in a tax situation, we get lobbied pretty heavily not to acknowledge that sunset, and so we keep giving a tax break, maybe beyond what we should at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, does it become? I remember I worked with you for a week in one of your legislative sessions, and every night you had this much legalese to read to prepare for the vote coming up. Are there any sort of movements or efforts to try to reduce the amount of paper or even just number of bills that come through?
The paper, there is an effort to diminish the paper, and you can read, and a lot of legislators are far ahead of this than I am. Then they do read everything online. But the overall volume of material I have not seen a decrease in that from when I served, last time I served, 2012. Right.
Yeah, there's the concept of a balanced budget that is often thrown around in politics. But is there any talk of balanced statutes where we decide that a pile of books this high is as big as we're going to get, and every session we can't add more, so if we want to add new laws we have to take out old laws?
Well, I think laws need to be flexible with civilization and the way our lives change, and so there's a need for changes, but I think there could be a cleanup. It'd be a terribly boring job to go through and try to get rid of some of what they're finding out in New England of the old blue laws that you can't sit on a park bench with a woman on Sunday or something like that.
Right. Yeah, in software, which is similar to law, you have these concepts like technical debt, which is you had to build something really fast, and you did it in a way that was not sustainable long term, and so it's technical debt that eventually you're going to have to fix as you grow, and then the term to fix it is actually to refactor the code, And yeah, that is not a very fun task. You don't get to build any new features, but it is something that all of the software that we use has to go through so it runs fast and runs smoothly. But yeah, it seems like there's no incentive for legislators to clean out that code because they can't put it on their website or things like that.
No, there isn't any incentive as far as I can tell, and it is probably something that's happened. The only person that would understand that technical talk at this point would be Representative Mike Lynn and Yin, and maybe Representative Tyler Lindholm.
Yeah.
Now there's some others too, and I would like to bring up that it would be nice if it wasn't just if all the representatives could have a little moment like this. We had a little web page where we could just talk casually. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
We're trying to get Representative Summers on.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that.
We'll go down to his place.
Yeah.
We're good. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, and if you would like to get these weekly in your inbox so you can have coffee with us on Thursday mornings, just go to coffeewithroscoe.com and enter your email, and we'll just send you one a week.
Yeah, I'd like to get participation from part of the legislature mainly, but anybody that's not a nut.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with this new format, we're definitely going to open it up to anyone who wants to contribute and respond to these opinions or ideas, so that we can compile them and make it more content rich, as opposed to us just having coffee.